Good evening, welcome to ITV News Anglia for Suffolk, Norfolk and Essex.
And here's a look at some of this evening's main stories.
Hi, I'm Steve Davis and I'm here in Essex showing school children how snooker can help with their maths.
Fantastic, eh? Right, you're watching the ITV News in the Anglia region.
Yes, still to come. A class act at the table. Former world champion Steve Davis on what snooker can teach our children.
Now then, it was part of the pledge to the nation at the London Olympics to get more youngsters playing sport at clubs and also in our schools.
But you might be a little surprised to hear which sport a school in Essex is championing.
Yes, Moulsham High School in Chelmsford is one of 12 schools across the country promoting the benefits of functional snooker, a twist on the game designed to help people learn maths. Today they held an actual tournament about it with help from a very interesting former world champion. Matthew Hudson can tell us more.
I don't remember celebrities of this calibre visiting when I was at school. Steve Davis, 6 times UK snooker champion, 6 times world snooker champion, 3 times Masters champion, a man who dominated the sport for more than a decade. Still a very familiar face on the snooker circuit and of course made a big impact in ITV's I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Well, Steve's come to Moulsham College to introduce students to a new type of snooker, one designed to help them with their maths. Is it any wonder that the school snooker club suddenly seems to be so busy?
It's a different variation of the normal scoring game. You've got 10 reds, each of them has a number 1 to 10, and then we've got the colours that retain their values, but the difference is they're either got a subtraction, multiplication or addition.
I love snooker because it's a game where it's unpredictable and you've got opponents of different strength, you know, coming together and playing together.
When just playing pool, you're simple, you get your colour ball in, but having to get the different ones is more challenging.
It's concentration and you count how many points you have after you pot each colour, so yeah, it's good.
It can help you in maths sometimes. So if you sometimes put multiple balls, you sort of add up the total score you get.
To have someone like Steve come, not only as a celebrity, but to endorse this package in schools, that's the vision for Steve and his colleagues, to actually get snooker, yes, played more by young children, but at the same time for it to develop their academic skills. Steve Davis, you were quite young when you started playing snooker. It must fill your heart with gladness to see so many youngsters keen to take part.
Yes, because whilst obviously I play now at professional level, it's all about competition, it's all about winning and losing. The game is a social pastime, always has been, always will be, and it's not just for adults, as you can see. Give the kids a chance to have a game of snooker in a club environment, which is effectively what we've done, brought a snooker club to the school, and you see how much fun everybody has.
Not only have you made a living out of snooker, but you've written books about cookery.
Well, somebody else wrote that one.
You've been on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I mean, snooker's taken you around the world several times.
Totally. To think that the game of snooker, which is a game pastime for most, has given me such a variety of interests outside of off the table as well as on. I owe everything to snooker in many ways.
If we're honest though, Steve, today do the teachers recognise Steve Davis, the snooker player, and the kids recognise the guy who was really cool and laid back on I'm a Celebrity?
Well, strangely enough, I mean, one of the questions I used to get asked quite often was, what's Alex Higgins like back in the 80s? Recently it's been, what about Ronnie O'Sullivan? How good is Ronnie O'Sullivan? Is he going to turn up for the next tournament? What's he like backstage? But recently the question has been, what's Joey Essex like? So yeah, it's changed. The jungle thing was a fantastic experience.
I remember from when I was a young man, snooker players seemed to be terribly exciting, real characters in the game. Am I just getting old, or are there not quite as many characters around now?
I think there's a lot of different dynamics going on. There were only a number of players in the old days that used to get to the final stages, so you got to know them every tournament. These days in sport, you don't necessarily see the same faces at the final stages in, say, the world of golf or tennis even. You don't necessarily see the same characters. That, mixed up with the bit of the fact you are getting a bit older, lends itself to the fact that there may not be so much characters in the game.
Does it make you feel good that somewhere in a school that you're going to visit, there might be a young person who pick up a cue for the first time and make a real go of it because they've been inspired by this project?
The project wasn't aimed at trying to find a champion. But if we do find somebody that takes it up and becomes a professional along the way, well, that's fantastic, because we've changed that person's life. He or she may not have been introduced to the game from their parents' point of view. They may not have had the opportunity to go to a club. Well, if we bring the club to the snooker to the school, and that kid then has a new direction because of snooker, because of what we did, well, that's marvellous.
Steve Davis there speaking to Matt Hudson.
Now, lots of schools nowadays specialise in single subjects, languages, science, music. But how about this? A school in Essex that specialises in snooker.
Moulsham High in Chelmsford is one of only 12 in the country to be chosen for the Q Zone project, which promotes snooker as a sport and a way of improving maths. And today, one of the all-time greats dropped in to help.
Well, he's pushed us into second place. The Reds won by 1 point.
To this generation, he's that celebrity who recently headed into the jungle for reality TV. To my generation, he's the sporting legend who dominated snooker way before these youngsters were born or even a twinkle in anyone's eye. Renowned for grinding down the opposition.
I always thought rather unfairly they dubbed you Mr. Boring, didn't they? But you're getting very animated here. This is obviously something you love.
Well, I mean, snooker's been great to me. It's a game that that's done me proud. Hopefully I've sort of been a good ambassador for the game.
And there he is with a big smile.
Steve Davis was, of course, world champion 6 times. A legend in a sport which has its roots in smoke-filled, shady snooker halls. Today, it's very refreshing. It's all about engaging youngsters, using the game to get them active, and by building in challenges involving numeracy and literacy, getting them academically more confident too.
One of the 3 core values of the school is the word enrich. And enrich to me means everything outside of those 25 lessons you have in the week. This is a classic example of enrichment for our students.
I've had so much fun. I've played 3 or 4 games now and I've won every single one, and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
I think it's a better way of getting people involved and helping them with their numeracy and maths, because it's a fun way of doing it and gets people more into it.
How does the stress of keeping these children in line cope with the stress of a World Championship final?
Well, I was very fortunate to be involved in the jungle region. I'm a celebrity. That was quite stressful at times, dealing with the other celebrities. Obviously, the World Championships is the most stressful, under tension. This is a different type of day. This is manic. It's non-stop.
Classroom teaching, of course, once relied heavily on slate and chalk. Still does, in a way. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East, in Chelmsford.
They are having fun.
They were, weren't they?